as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Remember Helen Kerwin? As county commissioner, she raised the tax rate over 95%, increased taxes, utility rates, connection fees, and pushed to give the state even more taxing authority. Well, Helen Kerwin's back, handpicked by the Washington swamp to push a voucher scheme that takes funds away from our local schools and gives taxpayer-funded private school vouchers to illegal immigrants. They'd even go to the front of the line ahead of U.S. citizens and legal residents. It's the very same voucher scheme Dwayne Burns stopped last year before delivering the largest tax cut in Texas history, the strongest border security plan in America, and new laws to protect our kids at school and online. Dwayne Burns is the real conservative who puts our community first. He won't be bullied by powerful politicians or D.C. special interest groups because he doesn't work for them. He works for us. Political ad paid for by the Dwayne Burns campaign.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
What do you set up?
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Texas Wild Adventures from the Water to the Campfire with my beautiful co-host and cohort Diana Jurek. Tonight we have the Chrome Divas in the studio. We have Miss Dina Chrysler. We have Char Hurt-Robertson and Jennifer P.J. Barbary. Welcome to the show, ladies. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Tiffany, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but the microphones are really loud. Maybe you can help me with that. Maybe turning the volume down helps. Yep, that's it. Dina.
Who's Tiffany?
Tiffany's the station owner. She's listening, watching, taking care of everything in the background.
I'm looking around for like the ghost in the room.
No worry.
It's in his head.
So
well,
Dina,
yes,
let's get right into it. We're here to talk about one of the most American adventures of all, and that is
sleeping.
Yes, motorcycle season.
Yes,
the time of year when it's not so miserable.
When you don't look for robins, you look for motorcycles.
Right, you're not wearing a leather jacket to stay warm.
Protect your hide.
That's right. Second skin. So tell me about who you are and what you do. Tell me about the Chrome Divas.
Okay. Well, the Chrome Divas is an all-female motorcycle
riding club.
No, we're not a riding club.
Riding group.
We are a social organization. We are actually a 501c7 nonprofit.
What's the difference between 501c3 and 501c7?
Basically the word charity.
Word charity.
We're not a charitable organization. We just don't pay taxes for that gives us the freedom to have our fundraisers and give back to our community, because we do raise funds throughout the year and benefit different charities.
Can you bring the mic a little closer?
Yes, sorry.
All right, so, thank you. So you don't pay taxes on all of it. You just you're a pirate group, really, huh? Yar. Yar.
Arr, I are. We are.
We are.
Char, tell me a little bit about what you do for the group.
Oh, I am the founding secretary. So basically, I do everything, including washing the dishes. They make me do it. They
Oh
do.
my gosh.
No. I just keep the notes and
You keep the notes, you take care. Are you a treasurer also?
no, we have a treasurer.
you have
That
a
would be
treasurer.
Candy.
Candy.
She's our motorcycle Candy.
Right on. I like the sound of that. All right, PJ.
She's a good example of one of our motorcycle enthusiasts. She does not ride her own,
doesn't
but
ride.
she's a well-versed passenger in, as
Yep.
she said, motorcycle Candy, hence her name.
You do not have to ride a motorcycle to be a Chrome Diva. You just have to be a motorcycle enthusiast
Right, and sociable.
and sociable.
Well, that helps. Yeah.
PJ, tell us a little bit about what you do for the group.
What I do for the group, usually I'm the sweep. I'm the
sweep.
one at the very back that makes sure if somebody breaks down, I'm there to either get them back on the road, figure out where we're going to go from here, have all my little roadside assistance stuff, fix flats, help them recharge, jump their battery, whatever's going on with it. So usually I'm at the back. They usually call them a gunner, tail runner, tail gunner, sweep.
Years ago, when I had a patch on my back, they called it a tail gunner. So that you're a tail gunner.
Tail
So
gunner.
you're the emergency contact. You're the go-to. You solve problems. You mitigate emergencies. You save the day.
Yep, we'll stay back for you. I'll sit there with you and then get you caught up to the next people. If, roadside assistance, if we need to call, we need to make sure, whatever we got to do.
That's a very noble job. And you do that from a trike.
Do it from a trike, and I have 2 wheels.
Well, it comes in handy doing it from a trike because you got a lot more storage space, don't you?
Yep. And I can throw them back on the back easier if I need to.
Right. Right
If
on.
something's going on. So
All right, Dina. So tonight is, I won't say it's the start of summer. It's not. But we're getting into it. Summer, May is kind of the unofficial start of summer.
It is.
And it's getting to be that time of year when it's not storming outside, when it's actually nice to get out, get on 2 wheels. It's not blazing hot and it's not freezing cold. It's just the right time of year for it. So tell me what's coming up in the near future for the Chrome Divas.
We are having our big annual fundraiser this Saturday at the Fort Worth Harley House.
Now, that's not only a fundraiser, but it's also a fundraiser because it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, we
Lots
raise a
of
lot
fun.
of fun in HE double hockey sticks.
I bet you do. We can say that one on the air. It's the ones that begin with nefarious letters that we can't say on the air.
Nefarious letters like R.
Or R is one of the most menacing of sounds. That's why they call it murder and not muck duck.
I don't know. Muck duck sounds scary.
It definitely doesn't sound like something I want to engage in.
So anyway, I've been derailed by the great Brian.
That'll happen. I guess you're too tired.
Oh, totally. Anyway, what were we saying? So our fundraiser is this Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Fort Worth Harley House. They've been gracious enough to host our fundraiser this year. And the charity that we chose to benefit this year is People Feeding People, which is a grassroots movement where we take donations of prepackaged foods, personal hygiene items, toiletries, and we go out and we basically feed and provide these items for the homeless.
Right.
So,
Right on.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some games. We're gonna do some arm wrestling this year with trophies.
With
really cool.
trophies,
So
yeah.
exciting.
Make sure you have indemnity waivers for that.
Oh,
I've
yes,
seen a lot of
definitely.
arms get broken.
Yep.
Yes, we have waivers. There will be a liability waiver. No
Good.
signing, no playing.
Right.
Yes.
Our infamous chicken
drop.
SHIT bingo, chicken poop
Chicken
bingo.
drop bingo.
Yes.
There you
Can I
go.
spell it?
Tell
I
me
just
tell me
did.
how that's played. I've never heard of that one. That's
Well, we have a big.
that sounds rather foul.
It's quite.
Well, for us biker chicks. Anyway, basically, we just have a 5x5 grid with 25 numbers that
just
we
got
put
that.
down. A little slow up on the end. Are you too tired today?
I might be. Maybe I'm just chicken. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry.
don't get cocky.
I'm trying here. What, were you raised in a barn?
So how can I do a show with you? Okay, so Anyway, you put the chickens on this grid, 25 numbers. You bet on the number, and you put the chickens inside a fence on the grid, and you wait for them to poop. And whatever number they poop on, whoever bet on that number wins half the pot, and the other half goes to the charity.
That sounds outstanding. It sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch how people get into it.
Yeah, cheering on their number.
Cheering the chickens on.
Mm-hmm. Like trying to shoo them away from other people's numbers onto their numbers.
What do you think you could feed a chicken beforehand to enhance its ability?
We do feed them right before.
Well, actually, while they're in there. Yeah, we withhold food until they're performing. No, don't get peed on us. And we throw chicken feed out there while they're in activity mode.
Right, because they're not real particular about where they.
No, they're not.
You know, I have a friend who lives in San Marcos. Sometimes he listens to the show, but I hope he's not right now. They have house chickens right now.
Oh, nice.
Recently went down to San Marcos on business and didn't even let him know.
No.
I don't want to stay there.
No.
He had a house duck once. Didn't like that either.
No, ducks are a lot worse than chickens.
That was a very
in the
calm
amount.
duck. Very
but
calm
still,
duck.
they poop
Right.
a lot
Duck butter.
anywhere.
And I wasn't into it.
I hope not.
Didn't like it at all. It was
well, it's
chicken poop bingo all over his house.
Ew, no, that's all right.
Not
I'm not betting on that one.
I don't think I would either.
Yeah, but we're also having live music, and our beloved friend Sunshine Emery is going to be playing.
Oh, fantastic! I love her music.
Scott Womack will be playing, and then also a band called Late to the Station.
Late to the Station.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of station. I have yet to find that out. Radio station, train station.
And this is where?
This is at the Fort Worth Harley Davidson off of South Loop 820.
Fort Worth Harley Davidson off South Loop 820. You don't have an address, do you?
Southwest like 820. I could pull one up.
Well, it's not important right now. Maybe for when we come back or when we end the show, we need to make note of that.
Okay.
So we're here to discuss what we can do to make this environment of two-wheeled, three-wheeled fun better for us, better for them, better for everybody in general in terms of safety and enjoyment. Because if you're not safe, you're not going to enjoy yourself. And if you're not enjoying yourself, you're probably not going to be safe either. Right. So it kind of goes both ways. It's a two-way road.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Uh-huh.
So what can you tell me about, as a group, y'all ride together often, I assume?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What can you tell me about what you've noticed in terms of changes between what it used to be like riding in a group versus how it is now? That could be anything from population increase to dealing with more cars on the road to dealing with the conditions of the roads. Tell me a little bit about the differences between then and now.
Well, just the overall perception of, speaking personally, just being a woman on a bike, being more accepted into the culture, into the groups, being able to ride co-ed, being able to ride just with women, which there's a huge difference of riding with just women than it is with riding with a bunch of guys or co-ed.
Do y'all get a kick out of the notion of a guy on the back of your bike? Like, does it make you laugh?
I do. I would love for that to happen sometime, but I would fear the comments that this dude would have to
endure.
Yes. I mean, I want a shirt that says, if you can read the back of this, then my dude fell off.
Yeah. I do not want anybody.
But my husband rides his own, so I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Y'all should make bets with your men and be like, if you lose, you have to ride on the back of my bike. And just see where it goes.
That actually sounds fun.
It could be hysterical.
We might have to do something like that.
And you have to get it on film.
Yes, absolutely. Because, otherwise it didn't happen.
Yeah, picture it didn't happen. Picture video or it didn't happen. That's right.
So just the overall perception, of a woman being on a motorcycle, but also the cars nowadays, they have all of these driver assist features, and I feel like people are getting lazier when it comes to driving.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to touch on that for just a second. That driver assist, a lot of times you can tell which vehicles have it because there's a little light on the mirror that lights up when you get close. A lot of those don't pick up bikes.
Yes.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
So it's how assistive is it really?
Right.
I think it's a false sense of security, a false sense of having eyes where you normally don't, and just things like that.
You still
lane
need
assist.
You still need to take that second and look back.
And the automatic braking. Like, I have friends that have the automatic braking. You put your vehicle on cruise control and you just stay in your lane. basically, and then it brakes for you when let me stop hitting that mic. It brakes for you when you get too close to a car. If a car in front of you slows down, and I don't know. I feel like I don't like it. I feel like drivers should drive
Right.
And the cell
and should
phones.
operate their vehicles and not.
Well, the class of driver has fallen
Yeah, well,
by
yeah.
the wayside over the recent years too.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is that everybody and their dog now leaves their brights on,
Mhm.
and it's like some idiot got behind the wheel and was like, "Hey, I found a way to make my headlights brighter."
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what it is. They don't know that it's a function that's actually there. They're
Yeah.
just like, "Oh wow, they're brighter now." They don't know to turn them off. They don't know what it means
LED
when you
lights.
flash them.
Those LED lights are worse than the
They
high
are.
beams.
Oh, they are.
Like those bright blue ones. I'm like,
Same goes for every Jeep.
yeah. Well, and talking about all these newfangled features on cars, they even have automatic dimmers. You
Right.
put your
Yeah.
vehicle, you put your high beams on, and then when another car comes, they turn off. But they're never as fast as I am.
Right.
It makes me nervous because then I'm like, oh, they're gonna bright light me. I'm gonna be blind. I can't see.
Well, sorry.
And a lot
Bill,
of people playing on their cell phones while they're driving
Yes.
and looking at stuff.
That's
You know
while
what?
driving
the
instead
worst
of-
thing.
that's the one time. That is the one time that I do want to be seen as a biker, because I'll be wearing my vest and my jacket, and I'll pull up next to a car that it's obvious they're on their phone, and I'll pull up and I'll get them to roll their window, and I yell at them, "Get off your phone!"
Yeah. Yeah.
And they will.
Yeah,
They will,
that's
because they
scary.
think I'm going to chase them down or something.
Yeah.
That's the one time I'm all right with being thought of as a biker.
I
Get
get
off your
beside
phone.
them. I get
And they
beside them
do.
and put my horn on. I have one
Mhm.
of those really loud horns on my bike, and I do it, and it freaks them out, and they just,
Yeah.
because they don't even know I'm beside them.
Right. I'm not paying attention.
That is the worst thing.
It's very, very obnoxious.
But there's a flip side to that, because I also feel like organizations like the American Motorcyclist Association is making more efforts to not only bring motorcycle awareness to the riders themselves, but
Pull
also
your mic a little closer.
to other vehicle operators.
Right.
Letting them know that they need to be on the watch out for us, and the signs that they it's like look twice for motorcycles. And,
As much as we all appreciate those signs, and as much as we all appreciate the added effort to look out for us, it's not their job.
No.
We
No.
touched on this in the
No.
green room
Yeah.
briefly. It's our job, because we're the ones getting on two wheels. They're the ones staying in the cage. I appreciate that they do look, but I can't count on them to look.
absolutely not.
No.
They're not. I have to assume they're not going to ever know I'm there. And loud pipes save lives. Yeah, that's true to a degree, but still, you can't ever count on anybody out there to take care of you the way you take care of you.
Absolutely.
Even in my car, I get out there. I don't trust anybody out there.
No, everybody's out to get you.
I don't trust the person. I stop where I can see the wheels of the car in front of me touch the pavement, because I don't trust the cars coming up behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I put my motorcycle where I can take off if I need to, because I don't trust anybody out there.
Diana, could you scoot around just a little bit, just a hair, that way, please? Thank you. Yeah, I drive an Excursion, so I don't have that much of an issue. No one wants to go toe to toe with that truck, but I get it.
Yeah.
I, for one, have been in a horrific motorcycle accident. Have y'all ever laid
No.
one down or wrecked?
No.
Tell me about your wreck, PJ, if you want to. I'll tell you about mine.
Mine was just, I got too flustered with people because they were just, trying to hurry up and rush me. And I was a new bike. And so I just dropped it. And it's like, hey, it's just going to sit there until somebody helps me pick it up. Then you just got to learn to pick it up. You're so nervous.
And not everybody's going to walk up and help you either.
But a lot of the times I was telling people, you need to know your route that you're going, have it in your GPS. That way you can anticipate what a turn is. Because we had one a couple of years ago. One of the people that was riding with us didn't anticipate the turn that we were getting ready to turn, and she lost control, and then she went down. It was really bad.
It sounds like
It was really bad.
She lock it up and go sideways, or what?
She totally flipped it.
Ooh,
She
cartwheel.
flipped over. She ended up with she has a traumatic brain injury. She was in the hospital for 8 weeks. Craniectomy and all that stuff, and so it was pretty bad.
In front of my face. Goodness.
You were giving him a complex with
But
that
that's right.
braid
I tell
hanging
people
off.
you need to
we
know.
have two camera angles. It's been on y'all for the last 10, 20 minutes. But anyway, we got it back now.
I just tell people if you're going to ride, just make sure you know the route that you're going, especially if you're riding with a big group.
Mm-hmm.
Know your route. That way you can anticipate what the turns are. If you can look
Don't
at it.
count on the person in front of you to have blinkers, and if they do, don't count on them to use them.
I've almost rear-ended another biker because they made a turn that I wasn't anticipating, and they had to brake pretty hard because I wasn't following that closely.
Right.
So
Right.
that is kind of scary. Everybody needs to know where the hell they're going.
And with the rules on having a brake light on your bike, you have to have one, but there's no rule on where it has to be. So you don't always see it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if a bike has blinkers, it has to use them. But if
Mhm.
it doesn't have blinkers, and you're down to signals,
Mm-hmm.
and not everybody does the thing.
That's one thing that we're adamant about. Whenever we host rides, we go over in the pre-ride meetings, safety meetings. We always go over just the basic
Mm-hmm.
hand signals. So everybody needs to be familiar with them, and they need to use them, and they need to pass them down the line.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what happens sometimes. In group rides, I've noticed not everybody passes it down.
Yeah. Well, the
And
turn didn't
so-
disappear. The
Yeah.
obstacle in the road just doesn't disappear.
Okay, let's take a moment and go to Joco Community Radio on Facebook and share the live feed so that everybody can get in on this for you on your phone.
Mhm.
Go ahead and go to Joco Community Radio on Facebook.
Okay. Joko.
If you bring up Joco, it'll generally come up as the first one.
Well, I'm following it, so it's in my list.
Well, there you go. Perfect. I love it. There you go.
All right. What am I sharing? Ooh.
The first show that comes up as you scroll down will
I
be Texas
see.
Wild.
I
That's us.
see.
You're live. You're on TV. It's also a live feed on YouTube. So you can go back and you can share this with anybody you want to. You can show it to them. You can say, "Look, I was on the air." We even have the fancy little on-air sign like the old school radio station does.
Ooh, PJ, you have an admirer.
Oh my goodness!
Mr. George says PJ is a hottie.
Oh,
I didn't even notice that the comments were going already. Hey, Eric. Oh, that looks like Sandy's on there. Hey, Sandy and George. Is George your husband or is somebody you know, or
That's my hot boyfriend.
is it? Well, thanks for tuning in, George. It's important to support your girlfriend in all manners.
Hi, Popeye.
That's my husband.
Right on. Hey, George, good to see you. So we brought a list of safety points to discuss tonight, didn't we?
Did we?
You gave them to me.
Oh, that's right. You mean Dina actually printed out something and
he
handed them out to
slid
people?
right into that one, didn't he?
I know. It was slick.
I chose not to paper over it.
And you cut me to the quick.
That was, oof, you're getting down to the pulp on this one. Barking up the wrong tree, Dina.
Well, I would.
But that joke will fall flat.
Flatter than Stanley.
You
Only
have-
elementary
you-
moms would get that.
Yeah, you have to have had a kid to really understand what that flat Stanley is.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think I'm a screwdriver.
Yeah, we're definitely not talking Phillips here.
Okay, so Diana, do you have much motorcycle experience? I know you've ridden with me once, right? Once or twice? Hey, wait a second. Your microphone's off. And it ain't because I don't want to talk to you.
He just wants to talk to you. He doesn't want
Talk
to
in
hear.
your mic. Testing 1, 2. Diana has no microphone, so I guess you're out of the.
You want to borrow mine?
There you go.
Her
Lend it
microphone just
over.
don't work.
Well, I have a little bit of prior
Thank you, Dina.
experience. I used to hang out with it wasn't actually a club, but just a group of people. None of them were currently patched whenever I was hanging out with them. And they still call me up quite often and want me to come out. It's just all the way in Garland, and I live far north of Fort Worth at this point.
They're going to send somebody out to pick you up?
No.
No?
But yeah,
That's
so
unfortunate.
I've had a fair bit of experience riding and then just kind of hanging out in the culture.
Right on. Get it? Anyway, I noticed that you hadn't said anything yet for the whole show, so I thought.
I had.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
It
there it
worked.
was.
Wait, it worked.
Yeah, it
I
worked.
have said things. You didn't hear them,
Apparently
but
you
I have
didn't
been
hear-
talking.
Yeah.
Well, we hadn't touched on any of your experience yet. That was what I was getting at.
Right. So safety wise, I have not been in a wreck myself. I I had a close friend that was in a wreck, and he did end up losing his leg.
That's
So-
unfortunately work at IHOP now.
God, Ryan.
Married a woman named Eileen.
Oh.
What's funny is that he is a waiter.
That's great. You can't call him a car hop, though, can you? Okay.
So
anyway,
he came back from it. We did a lot of fundraisers to actually get him a new leg.
that's good.
so-
Does he still ride?
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't checked in with him in a little while.
Right on. Well, give him my best if you hear from him. I feel bad now.
I'll have to make it over there and hang out with everybody again.
Do what?
I said I'll have to make it over there and hang out with everybody again. They're, like I said, always wanting me to come back over. It's just a bit of a drive.
Right on. Well, I get it. I mean, that's the whole point of getting on the bike, though, is to enjoy the drive.
But I don't have a bike currently. I just have to go in my SUV all the way to
Well,
Garland.
somebody come pick you up. Tell them you want to go. You need a ride.
I'll give it a shot.
There you go. See what happens.
Yeah.
Worst they can do is say no.
Very sure.
So I was in a horrible wreck a few years ago. I was on a big, beautiful bagger. First one I ever owned, and it was so nice. And I was riding with emotion. I was angry at my boss. He told me I wasn't going to get the bonus I'd been promised that month. And boy, I took off. I was mad. I quit. I walked out. I got on my bike. I was going to show him. And I took off, and a Honda Accord pulled out in front of me. I was doing something like 85 on Beltline, and it took it down. It was either this or laying it down, and I chose to lay it down.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I made it, and now I don't do that.
Well, that's good.
So I
Lesson
learned my
learned.
lesson. You know, there's a lot of old bikers, and there's a lot of drunk bikers, but there's not a lot of old drunk bikers.
No, there's
No.
not. They
There's
have
a
a very
reason for
short
that.
life expectancy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about motorcycle safety awareness, and that it's not just for us. I get that,
Mm-hmm.
but it is us. It's
Yes.
our job. At the end of the day, it's our job. So
Absolutely.
tell me a little bit about what you want to bring to the forefront of everyone's attention, what we're going to be discussing when we come back from our break here in just a couple minutes.
Just some tips for motorcyclists out there that whether you're new or seasoned, you're never too old to learn new things. Take those motorcycle riding courses, safety courses. Take those advanced riding courses. There's always room for improvement.
I've not had a single course yet. I know I need to, but I've never taken one. I
Yeah.
just kind of got on and started riding one day.
Yeah. And that's the way a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people that just got on and started riding and never went and got their endorsement.
Right.
That's my
I-
husband. He rode since he was like little toddler type
Mhm.
on little. He was doing dirt bikes when he was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Never took a motorcycle safety course until I think he was in his 40s, maybe.
Yeah.
40.
Well, when I
50s.
took my course, there was a guy in there that he'd been riding for more than 30 years and
Yeah.
decided he
Yeah.
needed to be legal.
Yeah.
Tired
But-
of getting those $100 tickets.
But it was a humbling experience for him too, because he was doing things that could have flunked him out of the course.
Mhm.
So old habits.
Well, and a lot of times they don't let you bring your own bike either.
No.
No.
And they
no.
force you to ride one of those little 500s or,
Yes.
or 700s,
250s
750s.
or-
Yep.
And that's a wholly different experience. When you're riding
Yeah.
an electric glide for a number of years and you have to go get on that little bitty thing with those pegs that feel like they're
Yeah,
up here. in
Mine
your
was
chest.
a Honda 750 that I took my course on.
Yep.
And,
And-
I ride a Heritage and a Fat Boy. So it's a way. It's a
perfect
different
example,
world.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
No matter how classic it wants to
Mhm.
look, it's just not the same thing.
No, it's not.
The weight's different, the balance is different, everything's different.
Yes.
But it's great for those new beginners that are
Yes.
Yeah,
are
for the
nervous
new-
about
Right. They're
riding.
light, they're easy
Yeah.
to balance.
Yep.
Doesn't take a whole lot of effort to keep the thing upright.
Mhm.
Right.
Unless you're coming from a different world and you're used to something else.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up for just a minute. We're gonna do a couple of commercials. We're gonna come back and go over some of this safety stuff we have here. Stay tuned.
School choice. Sweet sounding words from sweet sounding groups like the American Federation for Children. Well, the truth is alarming. These are the people caught marketing private school vouchers to illegal immigrants in Arizona. And they want to do the same in Texas. But Dwayne Burns said no. And that's why they're targeting him in this election. The voucher program they're pushing is a magnet for illegal immigration. Fully qualified to receive these $10,000 vouchers, illegal aliens would go to the front of the line ahead of U.S. citizens. These groups want to replace Dwayne Burns with a rubber stamp, and they've got one in Helen Kerwin. Kerwin has pledged to support this voucher scheme if elected, but we can't let that happen. Dwayne Burns' top priority is border security. He's stopped taxpayer-funded handouts to illegal aliens, and he's endorsed by every law enforcement association in Texas. Political ad paid for by the Dwayne Burns campaign.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Born to be wild.
Joco Community Radio is a proud member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving communities like Johnston and Tarrant County, Texas. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Check out our lineup and more at tuneinjoco.com. We thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voice of our communities. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorneys at law. Use code JOCO2024 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com. And join the Swipe Nation today and save on all your credit card processing at swipenationusa.com. Locally owned and operated. Reach out to Tiffany at joe.co@jococommunityradio.com for advertising rates as low as $50 a month. Every week, I harp on that. $50 a month for advertising. Diana, say something, will you?
Am I live?
It's really cheap, isn't it, for
Yes.
advertising?
Yes,
Okay,
it
so your
is.
microphone's working for right now. Glad to hear it.
Right now.
So we're back in the studio with the Chrome Divas, DFW's premier female riding enthusiast club.
Group.
Social
Group.
organization.
I keep messing
Yeah,
that up.
social
group.
organization. Don't say the C word.
Social organization.
Right, because you're not sanctioned. That's so stupid. The whole ego thing about the patches, I laugh at it. It's stupid. Anyway, no one's listening.
Yeah,
Who cares?
we
But if
don't-
you have a patch, we appreciate it.
Do we?
No, but I don't want to piss them off.
I invite them to come on down to the studio and we'll talk about it on the air.
That would be fun.
All right, so let's go over some of these safety features, safety points that you brought in to talk about, unless you have other things to talk over.
I would like to talk
Yeah.
about grass clippings.
Grass
Get out there
clippings.
and talk to your neighbors very kindly and ask them to make sure they don't put grass on the streets because it's like ice to a
Because it's
motorcycle.
spring right now, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
happening
it is.
everywhere.
Yeah. So turn your blower away from the street when you're mowing.
Just pick up your
Or
trash.
Just,
Yeah.
just blow it back
Well,
into
not,
your
not all
yard.
of us have baggers.
Well, that was a good one. For those of you listening that don't know the difference, a bagger is a bike with hard saddlebags, beautiful machine, and of course related to a bagging mower.
Yes.
That was a good one, Dina. I liked it.
I have them every once in a while.
It was good. I liked it.
It's a grassroots movement.
If you, I should have seen that one coming.
It was just a puff in the wind.
It was good. It was good. Tell me one mow.
One mow.
I haven't told that joke in a long time.
Well, I was asked to nice little PSA from one of our divas who's also a truck driver. And she sees a lot of situations where the motorcycles are just kind of like keeping pace with them. And with the big
Or
trucks
following.
and she's like, get away, either back off or put a little extra throttle on it, get ahead of me.
You ever been on the lake? When boats start taking off, they have a bow wave, right?
Yes,
Big
and then
wave of water in front of them.
Yes.
Same with the truck.
Trucks do the exact same thing.
Air displacement.
If you're not expecting it, when you pass that truck, it'll blow you right off the road.
Absolutely.
Get the hell away from them. You're right. That's a big deal.
She's seen. She says if a big rig loses a tire, the
The
sound
tire
itself
blows.
is deafening, and there's always the danger of flying debris that
That's
hit
right.
you. So she just wanted us to bring that out. That
And the thing-
stay in front of trucks as much as possible.
Most of the trucks are only semi concerned about you anyway.
I know. I got nothing.
That one trailered off.
They're just 18 wheeling it. I got one.
Nice. Y'all are getting in on it. I like this.
Jumping on the bandwagon over here.
So anyway, their trucks don't look out for you. They can hardly even see you.
Right.
And if you're riding behind them, they cannot see you.
Right.
Yes.
That's an issue.
Well, and then that touches on what you said before. It's our responsibility because we're taking that additional risk, but we just need to be smart about it,
Right.
And then not create a situation that could harm others as well.
Pass on the ride if you have to.
Right.
Just get away from them.
Yes. Yep. So
What else?
Well, riding in groups. There's a lot of things that both the riders themselves maybe don't know or don't think about, and also other vehicles that are around on the streets when there's a group of motorcycles coming. Know your ride, know everybody's experience level of the people that you're riding with.
Don't expect every car you see to respect the group either.
You're right, exactly.
There's a lot of them that are going to ride out in front of you the
Yes.
moment they think they have a chance.
Yes,
because they
don't
think
care.
the same. Yeah, they feel like the same feeder rules when you're waiting on actual traffic to go by applies to motorcycles. If there's a gap, pull in.
Mhm.
No, that's
No.
not the case.
Yeah,
Not the case at all.
it's not the etiquette, but not everybody knows that.
Right. It's like a funeral procession. Unless you drive a hearse, don't pull into it.
Yeah,
Right.
and not all rides are going to be, police escorted and whatnot, and sometimes we have to do that on our own.
Right.
So,
What are your thoughts on being passed as a group?
I think it's situational. It really just depends.
When another rider comes to pass you and is not a part of your group, do you see it as disrespectful to be passed?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all, because we might be going slower because maybe we have a newer rider. Maybe we're looking for an exit. I have no problem with somebody going around us as long as they're not a-holes about it.
Yeah, I've had a group of women coming back from a rally, and I was leading. Another group comes to pass us, and she's just sitting there, and she's looking at me, and I'm not a motorcycle club. We are a social organization. I don't follow the same rules you did, but she was waiting for me to wave her on by. Finally, oh yeah, she's waiting for me to wave her on by. Okay, you can go. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And that stems from the old school 1%er biker clubs, biker groups.
Don't pass
them, period.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't stay out of them.
Because they would think that was disrespectful.
They will swing over and try to kick you over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they're get back straps.
I don't get that.
No. So I will follow that up. I remember we did the Three Twisted Sisters down in the Hill Country a couple years back, and there were some guys on cafe bikes, and they were taking the same route that we were, and they came up on us, and they wanted to pass us. Okay, so there was this one guy, he passed us no problem. He just went on ahead. There was another guy, he didn't have enough room to pass us as a whole, so he passed and got in front of us, like inside of our group, and then went and passed more and got in front of more people in our group, and then finally got behind us or ahead of us. I didn't like that. I was like, if you can't pass us as a whole, then just wait your turn.
Right. That's very disrespectful.
And then a couple of curves up, they both got stopped by the police. I'm like, karma.
They got what they deserve for that.
Yeah.
It's throwing because you ride in a staggered position, and
For
if
a reason.
somebody, if somebody cuts in, that totally messes up your formation.
Yeah, and you can have a tighter group when you're staggered than you can if you're just in a single line.
Exactly.
And of course, there are situations where you want to
single.
go single file, and that's on curves. Anything that's
no shoulder.
no shoulder,
And it's easier to,
Mhm.
to make that happen when you're staggered.
And
Yes.
because you just tighten it up.
If you're riding 2x2, you can't do that.
Yeah, and really riding 2x2 is illegal in most states.
And dangerous if you don't
Yes.
know what you're doing.
Right.
And we're not the California Highway Patrol here, right?
No, we're not chips.
No.
But I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that do ride two to a lane, and I don't think it's safe. I think you should do it.
Yeah.
And that brings us to lane splitting and lane filtering.
Dina and I did it one time.
Yeah,
but that was
just to see. It was like, okay, I want to feel. We see people doing this all the time. Is like, do we trust? And that's another thing. Do we trust each other enough to ride side by side?
Yeah.
Right.
Are we going to be all? Or can we?
We were in the Adam
Hold the line.
Sandoval when we were in Wisconsin for
Yes.
the Harley 120th thing
Yes.
last year.
Yeah, the homecoming.
And we were in the, and so the traffic, there was cops for that. So it was
Controlled environment.
Controlled environment.
If one can say such a thing
And so
on the road.
it was, we were in the mood. We were in the field. We were vibing.
Yes.
And so we both look at each other and was like, yeah.
Yeah, we had that. I remember we had that
Yeah.
look. We looked at each other and like, okay, let's do it. It was an unspoken vibe
Yeah,
between us. It was
yeah.
cool.
Right. You got
And
to
then-
set the cruise control and do the fist bump.
No, we don't have cruise control on my bike. I don't know that would trust that. There
Oh, it's
again, that
nice.
goes with like driver
nice.
assist.
Yeah.
I want to control my throttle. I want to
Yeah.
control my slowing out
Well,
and speeding up.
You know what? On a lot of different bikes, that your wrist gets tired.
Oh, I know it
There's-
does.
There's a level of fatigue there. In the wintertime, I remember on a Honda I used to own. Yeah, I used to ride a Honda. It was so the angle of the handlebars was just so that as I held that
Mm-hmm.
in the cold, my wrist would seize up, and when I
Ooh.
got off, I couldn't move my hand.
Yeah, that's not good.
It was just so that it was the way it was bent at such an angle and torqued at just the right
Mhm.
amount.
and it's
God,
held
it
there for a long
sucked.
time. I do have a throttle rest where I can rest the heel of my hand.
Oh, like a throttle boss, one of those deals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that, but
Those
I
are
don't have
cool.
cruise control. That is my cruise control.
After a while, you just have to hit the clutch and go like this.
Yeah,
Yank it off.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Your wrist goes- Cruise control's nice though. 'cause you
Oh,
can
I'm sure it is.
adjust your GPS, or you can light a cigarette. Or,
I'm sure once I have it, if I ever do, I'll never want to go back.
do you have a doobie can on your bike?
Oh,
A doobie can.
I don't do that.
We don't do that.
Do be or not do be? That is the
That is the
question.
question. You're right. Might throw you in the joint for something like that. We'd be better off not to use that stuff.
What is you're
Okay,
gonna have to
a
tell me
doobie-
what is that?
Okay.
Yeah. A doobie can is just a soup can that's got a coat hanger hot glued to the inside of it with a right angle, and then you put an alligator clip on it, and you can put your cigarette in the clip, and you can smoke your cigarette without the wind blowing the ashes in your eyes.
Well, see, I don't smoke, so maybe I've never had to be that. I've never had to do a doobie can.
I keep a doobie can on my Harley. I have to. I like to smoke,
Yeah.
and I like to smoke while I'm
good
riding.
to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
you've never heard of one.
No.
Learn something new. Thank
Don't
you.
smoke weed on the highway. Don't smoke weed on your Harley or your bike at all.
PSA.
All right. So what else? What else we got to go over and bring up and make people think about? By the way, Heidi said we're doing really good. Thank you,
Thanks,
Heidi.
Heidi. Love y'all.
We appreciate the compliment.
Hey, little
and the
rascal.
sentiment.
Hey, you know what? I would like to say something. So
Let's hear it. Say it.
another thing is don't, especially when you're on a 2-lane road.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere for traffic to pass you, don't be going so slow, because when the people behind you get mad, dangerous things happen.
Yes.
Right.
Keep up the speed. Keep
Yeah,
the
don't
speed limit. At
become-
least do the speed limit.
Don't become the obstacle.
Pay
Right.
attention to the distance behind you to the next
Mhm.
vehicle, as well as to the distance to the vehicle in front of you. Also,
Right.
it's a often overlooked.
Yep.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
and something else we could hit on is safety in numbers.
Yes.
With women riding, I know I would assume most guys don't have to worry about this, but when I go out on a ride on my own,
Mhm.
I'm very cognizant about what time of day I'm going to be out, where I'm going to be out.
Mhm.
And what am I going to do if something happened? If I laid my bike down or had a wreck or somebody started messing with me, which has happened when I was in my Tahoe. So why wouldn't it happen when I was on a bike?
Right.
So for those of y'all out there, I'm probably packing. So
There's no
That's good.
probably about it when it comes to me.
well, I was
No
trying to be.
Matter of fact, there might be more than one.
Yes, and maybe a
Different
blade or two.
locations. Yes.
I'm glad you brought up that bullet point.
Yes, absolutely. We had to hit it right on the target.
We sure did. I'm not shell shocked that you're getting into these puns with me. But we might have to clip it short.
Oh my goodness. Get down to brass tacks.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
We are on that one anyway. I was anyway.
I'm gonna let you slide, depending
Okay.
on how you frame it.
All right. Well, just don't lock me out of my safety. I don't know. I'm just throwing out words now.
Speaking of safety, yeah.
Right.
I'm really hitting. I'm really hammering you with these.
You are. Yeah.
I did just travel
Drive
alone a couple weekends ago. I went down to Kerrville for the 1901 rally by myself, and nothing happened.
Well, that's very good.
That's good.
But
And
I was
most time-
prepared.
Yeah. Most times, probably nothing's going to happen, but it's just something that I keep.
I was
know.
prepared, and also when my daughter was younger, I got Life 360 to stalk her, and now that she's an
She
adult,
stalks you.
she stalks me.
Turnabout's fair play. I
Yes.
love 360. We
I
use
do.
that when we go on rides. That
We do.
way,
Yeah.
if you do get separated from the group, you
Yep.
can just look on and see where
everybody's
somebody.
at.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
stuff.
When you're traveling alone, it's good
Mhm.
to let somebody know, and they can follow along on
Mhm.
Life 360. It's
Mhm.
free, and it's good to have
Yep.
for when you travel alone.
Just turn
So-
off those notifications. I get tired of
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
about Becky's phone dying or
battery,
whatever.
low battery. Like,
Yeah.
Do y'all use communications? Do y'all have the wireless?
Some of us
communications?
do. I know we have some people in our group that have the CBs or the Bluetooth in their headphones, and they can communicate with other people that are hooked up like that, but
Yes.
usually not everybody.
I have not modified my 2003 Electric Glide away from the stock CB radio. I still have
Yeah.
it. Still love it.
oh, I love it.
Works like a champ. I
Yep.
have no issues with it.
Right?
But I like my Sena helmet-mounted communications
Yes, I
device
like.
too.
I have the Senna too.
I
I
have
love
one.
it.
I have one and a backup. So if one goes dead, I just throw it in the bag and grab the other one.
Nice.
Get back on the road.
Yeah, they're
And
very helpful.
It's remarkable because you can answer a phone in a full face helmet, and there's no
Yes.
evidence that you're even on a bike.
Yes.
Right. And you can listen to your music, and nobody else can hear your music.
Your
But when you start
directions.
talking, it
Right.
cuts off, and other people can hear your voice.
No,
Right,
They work
and-
really great when you're supposed to be working from home.
Right. Absolutely.
If you see me on my bike, no, you don't.
No, we didn't see anything.
I wanted to do a show from my bike, like a live remote show with my Sena
Mm-hmm.
in helmet microphones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The more I thought about it, the more I thought about having to operate all this crap. for the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Probably
no.
a bad idea.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would have to get somebody else to like
Yeah.
film me while I'm writing, and then I
Mhm.
wouldn't have anything to say. It would just be a quiet,
Quiet ride.
quiet show.
Well, you can
You
still
could-
speak. You can have you still record yourself.
Yeah.
like a-
Pre-record yourself and then come and
a
talk
motor
over
vlog.
it.
I don't. I just don't
No.
think I want to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'd rather come here and talk about riding motorcycles.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So what else you got for us?
Well, I kind of thought it would be interesting to talk about a hot topic item. I know I've heard rumors that Texas has looked into making lane splitting legal in this state. And I know other states like California and I think recently Colorado have made it legal. And for those of you who don't know, lane splitting is when a bike will ride the white line between two lanes of traffic to get either ahead of congestion or just because for whatever reason. I've heard it called white lining.
That's not what I think of when I think about white lining. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I saw you had that dollar earlier.
Well, you'll notice it's not folded or bent in any particular way. It obviously hasn't been used. It was here when I got here. Honest.
Honest Dave, I believe you.
Anyway,
But so I was reading up online about it, and it seems to be a very polarizing topic. It's like you're either really for it or you're totally against it. And so I was just kind of wanting to see, pick y'all's brains and see, and maybe some of our listeners can chime in
Yeah.
and see have y'all ever split a lane? Have you ever had a negative or even any kind of incident with a lane splitter?
I mentioned earlier in the green room about not wanting to do that, not caring for it, not liking it at all.
Mhm.
And that's because I've seen the door open
Yeah.
Yes.
on a lane splitter.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, and it's horrible.
I don't
I can
trust
imagine.
people.
But a lot of people misunderstand what the whole point of lane splitting is. It's
Well,
because
true.
our motorcycles in the heat can't automatically cool itself, so we can overheat our bikes.
Air cooled
And
machines.
so the whole
Exactly.
reason we have to move is because we're stuck in traffic. We're not trying to cut in front of anybody. We're not trying to,
Right.
get there faster than anything. We're just trying to keep our engine from overheating and
burning our freaking
and
legs.
burning your
burning our
leg.
legs.
Yes.
Well, and that's what I've found is some pros that some of the proponents for it say, well, it helps reduce the likelihood of a rear end collision. If you're sitting in traffic and somebody comes up behind you and they're not paying attention, they could rear end you and cause severe damage to you and your bike. Where if you're lane splitting, then you're just getting ahead of the traffic and there's nobody that's going to rear end you that way. Gives riders a better view of what's ahead, because I know when you're sitting on a bike, even a Honda can be significantly blocking your view of what's going on ahead of you. Reduces fuel consumption from sitting there idling, reduces the likelihood of your bike overheating from sitting still, because they are air cooled, not liquid cooled. But there's just as many cons. It's like false sense of security. You're losing that safety bubble, and you defensive driving course takers know what I'm talking about. They've hammered that into your head. Have your cushion, know your escape route. But if you're in between cars, where are you going to go? If somebody tries to change a lane in front of you and you're going however fast.
That's the other thing I wanted to touch on. I've also seen the fender come out in the lane while somebody's going by doing exactly that.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, you're not going to win that.
No, you're
fight.
not. No, absolutely not.
If your bike's overheating, pull over, get off the highway.
Yeah.
Stop, get something cold to drink, find another route.
Yeah. Now there are situations I have found myself in that, at hindsight, I thought maybe I should have, or at least on the shoulder, gotten out of there, because I was not in a good situation. Case in point, stop still traffic on 35 in 110-degree weather with a brand new blacktop, and it was miserable. It was hot. My bike was hot. My jeans were burning my legs, even with the chaps and everything. So, but I was with a group. Had about 5 or 6 other ladies with me. So, are they going to follow me if I decide to do that? Or am I going to look back and see that I'm on my own and then feel bad because they're still sitting back there? Right. Exactly. And that's another thing. You ride as a group, you stick together.
Dance with the one that brung you.
Yep, absolutely.
Like I said earlier, I don't trust people. I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. So I'd prefer not to. If I did find myself in a situation where I needed to move, I'm going shoulder.
Yes.
Far right shoulder.
If you can get there.
If you can get
if
there.
you have to pull over, left shoulder works.
Right.
It's just not a good idea.
Well, just think as a vehicle driver, how many times have you been sitting at a stop sign or a stop light and you like, oh, I need to dump this drink, and you just open your door a little bit and you pour your drink out. Because if you do it out of the window, then it splatters all over your car. So
if you're in traffic, you're not thinking I need to look back. Is somebody coming up in the middle of the lane? No, you're not thinking that.
So I'm kind of hoping that Texas doesn't decide to make it legal.
Well, that's also
not that it's going to keep people from doing it, but
it's also like the notion of, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, they made it legal that if you're at a stoplight and the stoplight doesn't change within 5 minutes and your bike is too light to trip the weight sensor underneath the road, you're allowed to roll on through it. Pay attention. Look at your surroundings. Don't do it absentmindedly.
Sure.
Look at who's coming. Look at who's going. Don't be an idiot about it.
Look twice yourself.
I don't time it, but I will. If that light changes 3 times, I'm going. I'm sorry. It's clear. I'm gone.
Stoplights that are timed for 35 miles an hour are also timed for 70. Coincidentally, 105 too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, because multiples.
That's right.
Well, and then not everybody understands if you're sitting in a light and the light keeps cycling and it's not cycling. Does it register you? Dang it. You're supposed to, like, if there's a car behind you, wave them on so they can get ahead of you and trip that signal, that switch. But not everybody knows. It's like, why are they? The light's red. Why is she moving me on? I can't go yet.
Yeah.
Sorry. All the little things that if you don't ride a bike that you may not realize.
That's what we're here to talk about.
Absolutely.
That's why we're bringing this stuff up.
Yeah. I
And
think we had that conversation on Facebook, a discussion about that. And somebody said if the light is, you should be to the right of the lane. And I'm not exactly sure why to the right, but I mean, I will, depending on where I either go to the left or the right to make sure my motorcycle
I
is
tend
where
to
I
go
can
where
pull.
the traffic isn't.
Yeah.
Well, bless you. Mount
me.
Vesuvius over here. So, like, if I'm in the left lane, I tend to hug the
Yeah.
left line because I need that. I need that little avenue of escape. Should I need it? Or I
exactly.
want that. Should I need it? Or if I'm in the right lane, and I don't like riding in the middle lane. I don't like people on both sides of me. I'm
Right.
either going to
Yeah.
be,
Fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it really just depends.
All right. Give me one of each of you, if you don't mind. We got 3 minutes left. Give me one of the most fulfilling, rewarding aspects that y'all find being female motorcycle enthusiasts who also ride.
Ooh, I like riding, and I can ride my own ride, and I don't have anybody going, babe, mom, grandma, anything like that. I can listen to whatever music I want to listen to, or I don't have to listen to any music at all. I can put my feet up on my fenders, and I can just go.
Even for just that moment, it's your world.
Yep, it's mine, and I can just do whatever I want to do.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
What about you?
I love to travel.
Travel?
I love to get on my bike and travel cross country. I love it.
My favorite thing was being part of the scenery and not watching it go by in the frame of a window.
Yeah.
You're part of that scenery. You're
Yeah.
part of what's happening.
Exactly.
You're not sitting there watching the whole world go by
Right.
in a car.
Well, that hits on my favorite part is like when I'm out riding, I like the smells.
Yes.
The
All the
smells in
different
nature, the
Flowers
fresh
and-
cut grass, just don't do it on the
The
street.
manure.
The manure, the skunk. I mean,
skunk.
you know, the passing mimosa tree or chinaberry tree that puts
Right.
off those real fragrant flowers.
Well, you've
Finish
ridden
it
down
all.
in the hill country, so
Yeah.
Yes.
the wildflowers
Yes,
down
absolutely.
281.
My goal, and I haven't done it yet, is to do a coastal ride. I want to smell the ocean air while I'm out
Yes.
there. And
Right
it's
on.
just that to
Watch
me
for
makes me.
seagulls. Watch for
Yeah, I'm
seagulls.
sure. I have a bag of Cheetos just in case.
They hurt.
I'll tell you what, those little freaking moths and shit hurt too.
Don't you have windshield?
On one I do, on my Heritage I do, my Fat Boy I do not.
Keep your mouth closed.
Yes, I know. But that's
just
about the only time
protein.
I wear my neck gaiter or my face protection is when I'm on my Fat Boy.
Man, I was on my way out to Chris and Sunshine's camping spot one weekend, and I was on my Silverado 1700, and I was doing something like 90, just having the time of my life, and I had taken my windshield off before I left, and something large with a stinger
Yes.
came right over my handlebars and hit me square in the collarbone right here.
I've been hitting the collarbone by something stinging
man,
too.
You talk about ruining my weekend. It
Man.
sucked. I was allergic
Well,
to
just
whatever
the
it was.
Yeah, and just the impact hurts. And then
No,
on top
yeah.
of that, you got
They
freaking
sting you.
stung.
Yeah, it just happened to be pointed right there.
Yes.
Oh, it sucked.
Yeah.
It
No,
sucked.
Speaking of Chris and Sunshine's camping spot, that is Brazos Rock Camp and Kayak. You can find them online.
And on Facebook, yeah,
And on
they're all
Facebook.
over the place.
Yeah, BRCK. You got to be there.
That's right. That's a nice little spot they've got too. They
It
really,
is awesome.
Don't
They
forget
really
to come
turn-
out Saturday to Fort Worth Harley Davidson off of 820 and is it 580? 80? Camp
580
Bowie.
Camp Bowie. isn't
Camp
it?
Bowie. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, that's right next to the Kroger.
2 to
isn't it?
11. I mean 2 to 6. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
All right.
Let's see. And tomorrow night, Phoenix is having a fun Friday out at Al's off 1187.
If y'all need that information again, feel free to listen to us on a restream. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you to go get all that information. We'll see you next week. Texas Wild Adventures from the Water to the Campfire. We'll see you soon.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County. Joco Community Radio.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Remember Helen